My name is Sun from the group UG21. Today, I'll be reviewing our software design document. In this presentation, I break the checklist into 5 sections. But since the question order has been changed, I'll be providing the original index for each question in the slides. Regarding organization and completeness, we provide a separate section on drawing conventions for figures and tables, but there's no detailed explanation in captions of those materials. But we do have in-text reference whenever we are discussing them, so the reader should be able to easily find the explanatory text for those materials. We also explicitly documented all of our design decisions and provide links to requirements entries in SRS document. We evaluated our architecture but haven't included every component in our system. We will fix this in future versions of SDD. We also review each other's activities, but since there's no group leader or manager, we just do it together in group meetings, which happens 3 to 4 times a week. If there's any urgent issues, we also discuss on Slack channels. In our designing procedure, we identified all the necessary resources in the current design, but we're also ready to reallocate those resources if there's any changes happened in the design. In terms of the design methodology, we used a bottom-up method to find out any hardware low-level limitations in the system, and then we switched to a stepwise refinement method to do the architecture design from top down. The result has been described in a mixed data flow and object-oriented model. We have 3 sources of entities. Most of the software design entities are taken from our software structure, but there's also some directly taken from our software requirement specifications, and there are also entities here for dealing with hardware limitations. Regarding the relationship to requirements, we have every single feature with a referencing back to the SRS requirement entries, so the relationship is clear. And we also consider the different stakeholders' view, but we haven't provided any architectural views as part of our document. We treat non-functional requirements equally as functional ones, so there's also requirement back to the non-functional requirements in SRS from SDD. But since we consider that features should only be derived from requirements, we do not manage changes here in SDD, since we already done it in SRS, so we just update SDD accordingly whenever SRS is changed. In our architecture, we provided a detailed model on logical data model schema, and we also described the algorithm for transforming from physical data model into logical ones. The specification of sensors has been taken from LegioS document, which is an external document and are not going to be included in our SDD. We have specified all different components in our systems, including hardware, software, and communication structures, but there's no database included in our design, so there's no relevant components. For the current SRS, the architecture is completed and covered all the requirement entries. We're also ready to add any new requirements or new features in the future. We use functional design entities as our building blocks and use them to describe larger units such as modules and procedures. But there's also sometimes we directly map entities into objects in our architecture. We always keep in mind that our system should be easily to be extended, so we provide a high-level abstraction for each component so that we can replace any component without affecting the whole system. But we do not provide any scenarios on changing. In terms of the alternative design, we have considered multiple and even implemented some of the alternative designs just to better compare them with the current design. For those designs that are equally good but just focus on different trade-offs or directions, we tend to convert it into plugins so that the user can choose what to use under different situations. Thanks.